Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Breaking the Fourth Wall. I'm Nathan Goff, and as ever I'm joined by the colourful, the effervescent Matthew, the bad boy Burns, or the funk soul brother of British wrestling.
Nicely put, nicely put.
So I'd just like to thank you all for the increase in viewings. I hope everyone's enjoyed what we did last week. It was off the cuff, it was a bit more flowing, but also a little bit more convulsed as well.
It was more
so
hectic.
we're going to have another go because it seemed to work. We were getting more views and people seemed a little bit happier with it. I just want to throw some disclaimers out. This is not a PG show. I am not here to make everyone smile and go, oh, isn't he cute? I'm here to voice an opinion on wrestling. My colleague, he's a little bit more friendly, but him, the same as me, we've agreed this is not to be a PG show, so I might swear a little bit, so get the fuck over it.
And there it goes already.
Yeah, so there we go, first minute, and I've got it out of the way. So, as you probably gathered, if you live in the UK, oh my god, is it hot or me?
No kidding, it's blooming hot. The fact is, I feel, well, bear this in mind, people, we're now at the moment in time in the studio recording this, and we've got no fan.
Yeah, for your convenience, we've had to switch the fan off so it doesn't make a sound racket in the background. So feel lucky. So for those of you that watched us, listened to us last week, we covered a little bit of everything. Like we did, like what we'd have as Slammiversary's called TNA's second biggest pay-per-view. I got corrected afterwards. I was getting mixed up with Bound for Glory, so there's that out of the way. I do apologise. So that's out of the way.
What else? I also noticed that something popped up the day before our episode came out. What was that about?
Oh,
trailer?
You mean Prince David?
Oh my god!
Yeah. So
you know how to pronounce it. I'm sorry.
So everyone who saw episode 7 actually saw that we had a teaser out. If you want to listen to that, it's we don't have Matt Burns, so if you get fed up hearing his voice, then you can just listen to me for 15 minutes. If you get fed up listening to my voice, tough. I'm still here. So you have to get used to it. It's not as bad as Michael Cole. So this week we're just going to cover some of the main points.
I'm sorry, but I've just got to stop you there. Nothing is worse than Michael Cole.
Have you seen the Breaking the Fourth Wall app?
He's already up. We haven't got an app.
Oh damn it! I can't plug it. Sticks on the to-do list. Right. So this week we're going to cover the main points. I'll try again. Which will be Raw. Having a brief look what happened at Raw. Also, just covering some of the main points of Slammiversary. We aren't going to cover it all because I haven't had a chance to watch it yet because it hasn't been on Challenge TV yet.
And possibly cover a little bit of what happened on the Impact after.
So, spoiler alert, if you don't want to know what happened, please. Matt will put a little disclaimer on the YouTube video saying what minutes you need to skip past, and then if you don't want to listen to it, you don't have to. Or
better yet, listen out for when you hear me literally scream out to say, you'll know the phrase straight away as soon as it's coming up.
Yeah, so we'll stick a disclaimer up. So we'll cover that. Then I also want to cover a little topic that might go over 2 weeks. We're not sure yet, which is if anyone's watched the Mania of WrestleMania, then they'll understand why I want to cover it. It's an interesting documentary, so I'll cover some points.
Is that the documentary that sort of follows behind the backstage?
Yeah, the backstage bits, which I wasn't aware at the time what was happening backstage. It was like the end of an era, as some people described it at the time.
Yeah, and if you think about it, it sort of showcases you a bit more of the wrestling side as well.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, it also showcased why there was sort of a bit of a fresh intake at WrestleMania 20.
Yeah, so I want to cover that, but I might briefly cover it this week, and then I'll post a link to where you can watch it. I need to check that it isn't a link where you can get done for streaming, so I'll pass that past a couple of people, see if it's the right link. If not, I'll post the YouTubes up. On YouTube, it's about 5 different clips, which all last about 9 minutes each. If I can get the clip I want to, it's on one video and it lasts 45 minutes. It's a great watch. I watched it on Monday night on the way home from work. So it's a great watch. I recommend it, and it will be covered on here because I wasn't aware of the side effects, and like I had a greater respect afterwards. Then we've had a guest also ask us a couple of questions which we're going to cover. I've got them written down here, so we'll cover them. Again, we are the People's Podcast. We love your questions. If we get more questions, then we might be able to devote your own section. But until that note, we don't.
Either their own section, or if necessary, depending on how many we actually get. You know, it could be just a section, or who knows?
Yeah,
we could even make it a episode, but that depends on you guys. If you really want us answering, put in our views and whatnot, and want to ask us questions, please do not hesitate. We will answer them. And as we've said, we decided to do this to literally voice opinions.
Yeah,
this is voicing opinions.
Like this week, I've actually had one of the listeners who's actually chatted to me at least 3 times this week, asking me different questions, and each time I've answered. It may have been a little bit of a delayed response because I've been a little bit hectic at work, but I've always tried to answer, and I think I have answered successfully every time.
Like yourself, you've been getting responses. I've been getting people who've been mentioning how good the show, asking. Where sort of small little tidbits, but it shows it's getting
we're getting there.
It shows we're sort of getting there. But the best thing is about it is the fact that we need them.
Yeah,
we need you. And
if you don't listen, we're just here to have a chat with a microphone in front of us, which we don't want to. I could do that on a mobile.
We can sort of still do the chat anyway, but. People will start looking at us very strangely, especially the way we're talking.
So we'll jump in. How's your week been? Any news in the world of Matt Burns?
Oh yes. Of course there is. There's always. Well, if you think about it, we've got the United show coming up.
So my question now that Brodus Clay's gone: when are we getting the Funkadactyls in the studio? So you are the only other person left on Planet Funk.
It does seem that way, but unfortunately, it looks like the Funkadactyls are arguing now, don't it?
Yeah, but they haven't split up yet. So before they split up in the next couple of weeks, bring them in the studio.
I'm trying.
I want to see Funk on a roll. So that's a little bit of news. If you listen to my teaser, I actually talk about Black Thursday that happened.
Ooh, devastating.
8 days ago now. So this has been recorded on a Friday. So if you listen to that, you'll be able to hear my views on Black Thursday in a little bit of a detailed response.
One thing I need to point out right now, this might be going off a bit of subject. People might have noticed that we had a bit of a delay with the release of the episode, but that was due to technical difficulties. Hopefully, we'll either have this episode up over this weekend as soon as possible, possibly tonight or tomorrow at the latest.
Yeah. So apart from that, Matt's had a busy week. He's been doing a couple of bookings. I've been playing secretary for a little bit of the week with him as well. So I've done a little bit of that for him, just taking a couple of bookings. The man is getting busy. So if you want him, you can. How can people book you if they want you?
Well, basically, they can either email me, Facebook me, whatever they want. I'm open. If they wanted to even message me through breaking the fourth wall, I'd gladly be able to do it, but I'm pretty sure you'd want commission, wouldn't you?
So that's that, and then you've actually just watched me do a little bit of a snooker match, haven't you? Oof. For a warm up for tonight's match.
Quite the warm up.
Yeah.
Quite intense.
So that's that. So we'll jump in at Raw. So that's our week. So I'm sorry to bore you for 9 minutes. If you want to listen to us, we're starting now. Yeah. So Raw kicked off with Stephanie.
The belt.
With the belts.
Over the belts there with Triple H. Stripping Daniel Bryan. It's still tough because that straight away it's taken away the so-called underdog story. I thought they were going to try and keep the belts on Bryan, but like what they did with Austin.
Well, I reckon, and I said this last week, and if people listen to last week, you'll hear me say this quite clearly. I reckon Daniel Bryan will win Money in the Bank.
If he's there.
I reckon he'll be backstage. Once everyone's laid each other out, I reckon he'll come down, grab the belts, and start yesing in Stephanie's face to end the show.
Oh, you mean the belts Money in the Bank?
Yeah.
Not the other Money in the Bank?
No, I reckon he'll win the belts Money in the Bank.
Which, that I will say is interesting, though, still.
Yeah, it's an interesting theory. There isn't anyone in that match that strikes out to me and goes, these can be champions. Cesaro doesn't deserve a match with Lesnar yet. As good as he is, I don't buy Cesaro versus Lesnar.
I can sort of a little bit, but that's through Heyman. That's more so.
But I can't buy Cesaro versus Lesnar because we've had Lesnar versus The Undertaker, Lesnar versus Triple H, Lesnar versus CM Punk. Cesaro is nowhere near them three man's star level, pull level, whatever you want to call him. He is not on their level. Cesaro is, at the moment, a B-plus player.
Oh, you had to go there, didn't you? You had to go there.
He is, though. He's B-plus pushing A.
I'm not on about...
I know it's a cheap plug into the authority line,
Exactly.
I'm sorry, but he is. Ooh. If you're going to give anyone a grade, Cesaro's a B-plus, pushing an A-minus player.
Yeah, I don't think he is. I think if they actually let him, they sort of let him loose a little bit, it'd be plus, A plus and everything, or super, whatever. The fact is, the man can go. He can really wrestle, and I it's hard to explain. I don't know why. In the back of my head, as much as you can say this, I think Lesnar versus Cesaro would be a good match. I think it'll catch everybody off guard.
It will, but at WrestleMania, not now.
Bit too soon. That's your thing.
He needs the build. Cesaro needs the main event build.
So
at the moment, he's still got a mid.
You don't think he's going to take it, then who do you think will?
What, the belt?
Yeah.
Bryan. And then.
Oh yeah. But if it wasn't Bryan, out of the competitors.
If I was going to give it to anyone, I'd give it to Bray Wyatt. And then give him and Cena the last match at SummerSlam.
That'd be a good call. That would be.
In an Iron Man match.
Even though everybody's going to be counting on Cena taking the belts.
No, Cena won't take it. It'll either be Randy Orton or Bray Wyatt.
If Cena takes the belts.
If Bryan doesn't.
If Cena takes the belts, then Bray's going to be hunting for him.
In all fairness, I can see someone like Triple H just taking the belts as well when everyone's gone.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that's that. Some good matches in the first hour of Raw as well. We had Seth Rollins versus Dolph Ziggler, which was a bump fest. Incredible match.
Have I said Ziggler's a good worker?
He's incredible.
I've always stated it.
He's incredible, and them two together are gold.
When the curb stomp.
The curb stomp looks awesome. Then also, like, both of them sell right. I just want Dolph to lay off selling as good as he does. Because if he keeps on selling like that, he's going to end up with another concussion. Like, he's going at it. He's trying to steal the show every night. He needs to, like, take, like, a Shawn Michaels psychology to stealing the show. If it comes to pay-per-views, the main reason, like, you need to sell a pay-per-view, you need to steal the show at the pay-per-views because then you can set your stall out. Like, on a Monday Night Raw, yeah, go ahead, couple of good spots, but don't go all out on Raw for us every week because I feel like you're going to kill yourself.
Well, if you think about it, if he's doing that on Raw, good God, what's he going to do on pay-per-view?
Yeah, so that was that match, interrupted by a Mr. Ambrose who was in street attire.
Yes, I did notice that, but I will say the camera work on that was spot on because it was literally bump, pin, Ambrose in.
Yeah, awesome.
It was just literally
like we were on about last week, like the timing, like production, where it was like half a second off at the pay-per-view for the main event at times. This was on the dot there. Timing. Great work.
Timing was beautiful.
Yeah.
It was literally, whoom, he's there.
So that was that covered. And then Dean Ambrose straight in. New entrance music, new ring gear as well. Looking a little bit more like Brian Pillman.
He's got that look, hasn't he?
He has got that psychotic Brian Pillman look.
Yes, I did notice the new theme. I did notice that myself. It was like, hey, where's this going from?
My only argument with this is the week before they came out making a statement, him and Reigns saying that they were after Rollins.
Yeah.
Why weren't both of them there? Like, we see Reigns after, but...
True.
But are they going like for a double-pronged attack on the authority?
It's going to be a double-pronged, because bear this in mind straight away. Ambrose is putting the beat down on, trying to get the beat down on Seth. Roman's going for the belt. Why would he be going for the belt? For two reasons. One, to dismantle Randy Orton. And two, if he's got the belt, isn't that just going to annoy them just as much as Daniel Bryan having the belt?
If not more. But yeah, so that was interesting. And then the match after, Triple H came up on the Tron, said he had some bad news for him. Awful accent, Paul. Awful. So don't do it again because you're offending the British public.
Listen, if you're going to do it like how Stephanie did, who literally says, I can't do it as good as him, and literally played a video of him of a certain wrestler who says, I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
Yeah.
But then she had to obliterate it by attempting.
Yeah, so I felt sorry for Wade Barrett this week. He's had plenty of bad news because he's at watching England in the World Cup, and we've been shite.
No kidding.
But jumping back onto wrestling.
But one thing I will say is, it's nice that the fact that WWE have actually allowed him to take time out to talk about the World Cup.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's nice, but...
And it branches some publicity onto him as well, because he's been doing it for The Sun.
It does,
for those of you in America, The Sun is an English newspaper, and Wade Barrett's been doing a couple of segments for them. Like, it's sort of the working class newspaper, if you're wondering.
It's nice that...
Yeah.
It's nice that
so
they're doing
that's there. So
but
we had Wade Barrett versus Dean Ambrose in an all-out war.
That match was good.
With Rollins trying to cause some distractions in there. Good.
Oh, come off. He did distract.
Yeah, it was good. It worked. And Bad News won with a count-out victory once Ambrose took him into the crowd.
True.
And then he came back and hurt the dirty deeds.
Straight on to the Mr. BNB.
Like, this is going to make Matt feel a bit faint, but I wish Ambrose would watch Ethan Carter when doing that move. Ethan Carter does it so much better. Like, I don't praise TNA much, but Carter does it better than Ambrose.
Well, he's been doing it for long, hasn't he?
Yeah, but if you're going to do it, if you're going to do something, it's worth doing properly.
True, but then again, you've also got to take into account who's taking the bump.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a good match. I liked it. So moving on to some of the other good points from Raw. Roman Reigns had a funny segment with Vicky Guerrero.
Oh, where did that come from?
That it was quite nice.
I think that also showed a bit of personality for
Roman. It showed a bit of character development, which has been lacking. Like, people just see him as the serious enforcer. Whereas
he punches people.
Yeah, but he's able to do like a bit of dirty work. The Battle Royal, I aren't going to cover all of it because there was that much to cover. There was plenty.
Actually, let's cover something else beforehand. Actually.
Well, I'm on it now, so can I do it?
On.
No.
I'll
ball hammer you.
You can try, but
no.
We've got to do this because if not, it's going to confuse people.
Go on.
Rusev. You'll see why in a minute. Rusev came out declaring blah blah blah, put in this, put in that. You're not really surprised me.
What?
Who came out for the save? Oh, don't you know that?
I went for a piss break during this bit.
He's a one-man band.
Oh, actually, I did see. I did see that because he was in there beforehand. He got squashed.
He got squashed, which I think was a bit unfair.
Which why I can't remember. I watched it Tuesday. You know, I do apologise. I haven't prepared my notes from Tuesday to today, but I wanted to try it off the cuff. So it wasn't a highlight for me.
No, it's not a highlight, but
like, if we're going to talk about anything, we might as well talk about Lorna's blue attire.
Oh yeah, fair enough.
Good God.
But the point being is, I've had to bring that up beforehand because it's still, it's still going to be. I've had to mention that match because it's still crucial.
I thought the placing of the Battle Royal was a bit off. I would have liked to see the Battle Royal go on as to the second to last match.
Yeah.
Because I felt sorry for Ryback having to go in the Battle Royal for 10 minutes first and then have a tag team match after.
Yeah.
But I'll come to that after because that's one of my good points.
Oh, definitely.
So, Battle Royal...
I've got to put my hand up and say that is a very good point.
So, the Battle Royal, some good points. Superman punches everywhere. He did one and knocked someone off the top rope and knocked him straight down. So, so that was that covered. What else do you want to cover very quickly on
One thing I will say on the Superman punch is the finishing Superman punch.
I think Rusev sold that very good. He made good work of it. He managed to sell it. It went in.
Now, bear this in mind, that them pair brawling.
Yeah.
That was exciting because...
Was the Great Khali in that Battle Royal?
I'm not too sure. I don't think he was.
It surprises me, like, they didn't have none of the big men. Normally in the Battle Royal, which I think why this one was so good, is because it had men that were believable where you could chuck out on your own. Yeah. Rusev went over. I thought a couple a little bit going over. They went over a little bit too softly over the ropes. But it was a good match. It really...
Well,
grabbed my attention.
You can say they're going over softly, but do you have to do that to protect themselves?
Oh no, I mean when they were like being chucked over, like you see someone like an Ambrose or a Ziggler being chucked over,
right.
and they'll jump over the top rope, land on the apron, whereas the other ones look like they were throwing themselves over the top rope to land on the apron. So maybe a bit of work there just to make that seem a little bit more believable. You know,
don't do a Marcus Corvan.
No,
and literally eliminate yourself.
I've been down to watch someone going over the top rope before. I won't mention his name. I thought the poor fucker was going to kill himself, and I made a great point in telling him this.
Is this who I think you're on about?
Yes, and I won't mention any names, but the poor fucker looked like he was about to kill himself. So I won't fully break the fourth wall, but you know who you are, so please work on that for next time.
Did you manage to squeeze that into this?
I don't know, but it was a great segue into it. So you know who you are. Please work on that next time, or otherwise I'll come and throw you over the top rope.
That I will have to pay to see.
So we had that. It was a good battle royal. Moved on to my favourite bit of Raw, which was Stardust. Cody Rhodes is so much better in character. I don't know if anyone agrees with me on that, but he's so much better in character.
It's weird because he's sort of using something a bit like Gold Dust, but it's a little bit weird. But I think the way they presented it, though, could have been a little bit better.
Oh, no.
No. I mean, him character-wise, I think...
There was someone I was having a chat to in work who watches wrestling. He's about as mad as I am about wrestling. And he said that he'd like to see, like, Cody Rhodes do a sort of Joseph Parks when it comes to this, where he's like he's a schizophrenic, like he doesn't know that he's become Stardust, and he comes out on SmackDown and
the difference is with Parks and Abyss, that didn't work for them. Where I think Cody's got the chops, he's got the acting ability to pull it off.
He's so much better in character when he's like dashing Cody Rhodes or anything along them lines. He's so much better.
To work that gimmick.
Yeah, because
he's got to work gimmicks.
Yeah, because he's so much better. Whereas if he's himself in heel or face mode, he's a little bit bland because he doesn't know where he wants to take him. Doesn't know if he's pushing it too far. Whereas when he's got a character, he's got guidelines to stay by, and he can work. And this was brilliant. And I was also pleased to see the diamond dust used in an actual wrestling match instead of just on a game. It's an awesome finish. It looked like a diamond stunner. I think that was
it's more of a
Curtis Axel not being able to fully go over.
Used to it.
Yeah. So if people practice that, it'll look so much better when it looks like an actual cutter instead of a stunner version of it. But it was awesome, and it was a good match. Ring psychology was brilliant.
I will say one thing: they seem to jam more.
Yeah.
Especially with the bizarre moves.
Mm.
They were you know what I'm on about.
I wonder if Cody did his own face paint or if Goldust had to do it.
Nice tribute to the Warriors.
Yeah, I wonder if Cody had a go at doing his own, and then Dustin was behind him going, "Oh, come here, I'll do it for you." So that was that, but I enjoyed that, and then also I enjoyed Paige match, Paige and Cameron. Yeah. Cameron having a slow burning heel turn, employing some heel tactics in a face versus face match, and Paige just gets better and better and better. I love this woman.
What more can I say? What more can I say? I can't head on top of it.
No, it was a good match. Psychology was there, and Paige and they had a balanced match, which has been rare for Paige recently on Raw. It was a balanced match where both of them got a fair share of offense in. Cameron resorting to like a Ric Flair style heel with the I'm sorry, bang. Well, cheap shots. That's how you're supposed to play a heel character. If I want a sleazy heel character, I want him to be like Ric Flair.
I'll be honest with you. I watched the shoot interview from Jake the Snake Roberts. He mentioned the number one top heel, right? And yet, surprisingly, that wasn't number one. You know what was number one?
What?
The crybabies. Yeah. The ones who whine and complain.
Yeah, but if you want to heal, like, you don't want, like, everyone being a monster
No,
heel.
you don't.
Like, you need your crybabies. You need your people like Bo Dallas. Like, I hate him, and that's all he's after. He's after me hating him. Now, he's getting X-Packet because I don't hate him because he's a good performer. I hate him because he's crap. But hate's hate.
Well, hate is hate, but he is getting plenty of X-Packet. I think it's not helping that his brother's success.
No, his brother's awesome.
His brother is so successful. The fact that he's way behind a dog promoting the shadow of a certain brother of his.
If you don't look like this week, I'm disappointed.
Oh, I can't. Look at the weather.
You could still have the hat. You could have had the hat and the vest.
Okay, I'll bring it next time.
Right.
Just for you.
So that was that, and a good stretcher match on Raw. John, if you're going to do a hardcore match, and this is my only pick from this, please don't go to the throwing the stair spot every time. It was good for the first time. You could have left it a couple of months. You didn't have to go to it less than 2 weeks after seeing it. Like, I saw it again, even though Kane sold it. Kane sold it like a mother trucker.
Oh yeah, but the point being is, big match specials. Save it for them.
Yeah, but it was awesome. Kane must have ran back about 14 feet.
Only 14? he sort of went, hit.
Yeah, like, I'm surprised the stairs didn't take him past the yellow mark. But it was a good match. I enjoyed it. It was brutal, but it wasn't too brutal. Like, it was a nice main event, rarity to see, but it wasn't like a pay-per-view stretcher match. It was a Raw stretcher match. Like, all the stops weren't there. Like, if you watch the greatest stretcher match, in my opinion, which is Batista versus Shawn Michaels, like, you'll see that they pulled out all the stops to make that look brutal. Where in this one, there was plenty more that they could have done, but they did enough to make it go over.
But then again, you got to think about it. It's Raw. It's not a pay-per-view. You've got to be careful on doing too much, because if they overdo too much on Raw, the fans are going to be needing more at the pay-per-views.
Yeah, so that was good. Cena won, and he made his way into the Money in the Bank title match. So we now have, in that match, just to make everyone aware, we have John Cena, Randy Orton, Cesaro, Wyatt, Reigns. Who else have we got in there so far as well? There's 5 I can name.
A certain Irish person.
Sheamus, there's 6. So that's the 6 in it. So, and then after, as announced on SmackDown, SmackDown will be out before we release this anyway. There's been announced that the next match will actually be the next Money in the Bank ladder match. I'll put my teeth in. It's been announced that Seth Rollins will be in there with 5 other people. Bo Dallas is supposedly rumoured to be in that match. If he's in it, he doesn't deserve to be in it. I hope someone takes him out before I'm backstage.
So basically, you're hoping someone Sin Cara's in?
Yeah. So that's fine. Like, he doesn't deserve to be in that. Yeah, he hasn't had the build. It's a big match. Just give him some more build-up time. I'd rather see Rusev in it.
Come on. Believe. What the hell?
No, so that's that sorted. So we'll move on quickly to cover some highlights of Slammiversary. We're not going to cover all of it. We haven't got time. So just the main points. Bully Ray versus EC3 in the Texas Death Match. EC3 won. Screwy finish, but nice screwy finish.
Yeah. TNA seemed to have got the screwy finish right on this one, but the problem is, with TNA, too many screwy finishes. There's always a screwy finish with TNA.
There is. So, less screwy finishes, more actual matches with endings, please. But good match. Nice level of brutality. Nice selling. And I'll tell you the one thing that will put TNA on the map, and I hate to say this, is when, and if, because they're on Spike at the moment, and Spike doesn't encourage male violence onto females. So they're going to have to do it on a pay-per-view sometime, possibly Bound for Glory if they can drag it out another 3 months.
I take it you're hoping Bully Ray to bomb a certain company owner?
Yeah, if he does it, it's going to put TNA on the map. No, I'm being serious. If he does manage to put her through a table, and she agrees to go through a table, shouldn't need to. She's the heiress. She's an heiress to $1 billion empire. So
I will say, if she does put herself in that position,
fair play to her. But
fair play.
If it happens, like the live arena is going to erupt.
It's either going to erupt or just fall silent in absolute shock.
Oh no, it'll erupt.
No, it's one of them.
The roof will come off, but it needs to be done live, so no one can spoil it, and
it's got to be unexpected.
And it's got to be on a pay-per-view.
It's got to be done.
Yeah, but it needs to be done, and if it does, it'll be all over. I reckon that TNA would get a steady 1.5, maybe 2 on the Nelson TV ratings the next night if it happens. So that was good. The main event I know you want to talk about.
Right. They set up the main event 3-way, but they had 2 other matches to build it up. You got Lashley versus Samoa Joe and the greatest man ever lived, Austin Aries against Kenny King. Kenny King versus Austin Aries. Good solid match. Didn't expect Kenny King get beat. I didn't. I expected Kenny King going into the final because of the whole group thing.
Yeah.
To make the get the numbers against the champion, but it didn't happen. And then we got Lashley against Samoa Joe. That I expected.
Screwy finish again.
As usual. Oh, we mentioned this before. Too many. But then, come to the main event, Eric got the win.
Yeah.
We got the win, but
spoiler alert.
Something was off. But all I'll say is right now, here, remember me earlier saying the warning? Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Would you care to do it?
Bobby Lashley is your new TNA champion. He came in on the TNA tapings, which have happened recently. Like they did a double episode live, following Bound for Glory, and
it's anniversary.
Slammiversary. I've got Bound for Glory in my head because it's the only one that actually normally delivers. And Eric Young lost. Defended the title first against Kenny King in the opening segment of the night. He lost that, and because MVP was in power crazy mode, he made another match, which was Bobby Lashley versus Eric Young, and he kicked everyone out the arena. This was at the actual main event. Like, he kicked some of the wrestlers out the back. He kicked Jeremy Borash out. He kicked the TV crews out.
Really?
And it was like, I'm surprised he didn't kick the fans out and have it in an empty arena. But it was there, and due to a little bit of a screwy,
the user ones got the ones who need to go far for that.
So due to a screwy finish, Bobby Lashley is your new TNA World Heavyweight Champion.
Now let me reiterate what we've been saying. Too many screwy finishes.
So that was there. And it was a full episode of MVP abusing his power. I won't spoil it too much because it does look a good episode of TNA.
True, but there was one problem with it. One massive problem I've got with it. Why make a new champion night after a big pay-per-view? Big pay-per-view.
Because they're following Daniel Bryan.
Oh, come off it.
But actually having a champion. So that was that. So that covered that. Also, if you want another spoiler alert, that is MVP's last week as the power maker in TNA. There's going to be a certain Olympic gold medalist announced as the new executive of talent relations who will be booking the matches. It's true. It's damn true. So that takes on from there. So there's your TNA part, a couple of the good points.
It's not true. It's real.
Yeah.
It's
still real. It's still real to me, damn it. So that covers TNA, like a couple of good highlights. Just, as Matt's been saying, like he's been shouting it really. Like, if you could concentrate more on the matches and making your main matches less screwy, then like the product benefits so much more. Like, sometimes it just feels like they're trying to throw spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks.
And it's not working. The problem with it is it's like, oh, it's another screwy finish.
Yeah.
Let's just put this match out. Another screwy finish.
Like, if I went back and watched all the television and matches they've had for the TNA title and see the last time that they've had a clean finish, I think I'd surprise everyone, but I won't. It just
No
needs
kidding.
work, and that's that. So
They
now,
They need to have a clean finish
yeah,
to show that the champion is dominant.
yes,
A
agreed.
champion is dominant.
So
Now, Lashley, bear this in mind, a former MMA, former MMA. Oh no, he is, yeah, not former actually. He still does it, doesn't he?
Bellator, I think.
Yeah, he still does it. But here's the point I'm trying to make. He's an MMA superstar, right? He's fighting for it. Why not have him beat? If they're going to crown a new champion,
Beat him clean.
have him beat him clean, and then beat down on him after.
Well, they tried to beat down after, but I said I wasn't going to spoil it all.
So, well, no, that's not the point. But the point being is, they did a screwy finish.
Yeah, so that's that.
So straight
covered.
away, that's just taken away what I've just suggested out of the equation.
Yeah, so that's that covered anyway, folks. We're going to move on to the questions now before Matt pops a blood vessel and can't make his bookings this weekend. So
you know how I feel about the whole screw finishes. It's okay to do it a little bit, but don't overdo it.
So we've been asked by one of our listeners, what's your favourite ever ladder match?
Is that including TLC?
Yeah, I class as a ladder match, just with tables, chairs.
Yeah. Oh, we definitely including if we're definitely including TLC 2 at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
It can't be anything other.
Um,
For the no. Was it SummerSlam or was it WrestleMania?
TLC 1 I think was at WrestleMania 2000, so I think it might be right. I think it might have been SummerSlam. It's one or the other.
It's one or the other, but I'm pretty sure that the second one is the one where Jeff Hardy almost got snapped in half.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thought as much.
So that's yours. I'm going to go with the original one, which is Shawn
which
Michaels
original?
versus Razor. Okay, the one that was televised on tally and not done at a house show with Bret Hart in it.
I have to get that out.
Because Bret Hart is the original one. If you listen to any of Bret's podcasts, he usually moans about this.
Yeah.
That Vince stole his idea for him and Shawn to be in the first ladder match and gave it Shawn and a certain bad guy. Hey yo. Of Razor
Hey, yo.
Ramon. Yeah, of Razor Ramon. So I'm going to go for WrestleMania 10, which was Shawn Michaels versus Razor in a undisputed Intercontinental Championship match.
Ooh, I've got to say, it's an innovative way.
Or my second favourite, and this is a close second favourite because I'm just going to go for one-on-ones because I think it's easy to steal the show if you have plenty of people in there. Ask Charlton Benjamin because he made a career out of stealing Money in the Bank ladder matches.
John Morrison.
I'd go for Triple H versus The Rock.
Ooh, not many people know that they had a ladder or remember that. I do.
It's a brutal
and it's
ladder match.
Good match.
It's a brutal one. I'll post that on Facebook. I've had to remember to post something on Facebook.
That's a good match.
Yeah. If you remember a couple of weeks ago, I'll just bring this up as a segue. I'll post that on Facebook, that ladder match, if I can find it on YouTube. But I also posted Stephanie McMahon and John Cena onto our
I didn't notice.
onto our Facebook page. I did say episode 6 or 7. I'd do that, so it's on there. Fast forward to 10 minutes, and you'll be able to hear a little bit of old style John Cena and Stephanie McMahon sells it like a champ.
Which is necessary.
Yeah. So sorry to butt in.
Oh, no worries.
So I'll post that ladder match up. Brutal ladder match.
But for
Great
me,
psychology.
For me, the TLC, because that TLC was just devastating.
Yeah. So another match that another question was who would win in a battle of mind games versus Raven and Bray Wyatt.
Oh, psychological warfare. That's a tough one at the moment because of the whole Bray Wyatt. But the question is have we really seen all that Bray is willing to go?
No.
No.
We're going to have a difference of opinion on this. I can sense it.
No, you're not. On the contrary, I still think to this day the best person at mind games out of them pair is Raven.
I'd go Raven because if you watch his development from ECW to WCW to TNA, the man
And
is
WWE.
psychotic, but he didn't have a chance to show fully what he could do in there with the mind games.
True.
But if you watch his like development between them three companies, because they're the ones I feel he had a chance to showcase like his sadistic side. Like he came up with the Hangman's Horrors match, the Raven Clockwork Orange match. Some of the matches he came up with, he even let himself be scalped on tape television.
Recall, did he not start Monsters Ball?
Yeah, like if you want to see mind games, Raven is the master of mind games, and Bray Wyatt would do well, like sitting in a room with Raven, Jake Roberts, and The Undertaker.
Oh.
If you could get them three men in a room for a couple hours and just go, teach me, he'd be.
But then again,
he'd be on a pedestal on his own.
But then again, I think he's got something twisted about him to convince that many children to sing. He's got the whole world in his hands. That's something creepy too. When you're getting children involved with manipulation, it sends a shiver down my spine. It's a message it's foreboding.
But if we're going for the ultimate mind games, if I'll add this on, if I was going for the ultimate person at mind games, there's only one.
Go on.
The Dead Man.
That's got to be the Dead Man. I've never seen he managed to sack that many people out. Come on, he even got the tag team player.
Yeah, he's awesome.
And he knows how to do it on a switch, there and then. Even when he wasn't the Dead Man, he still had the mind games over.
Yeah, he was.
Everybody else.
As The Undertaker is the overall granddaddy of mind games. So, moving quickly on to another part that we wanted to cover. I'll post it on Facebook. I'll just warn you all. We'll cover it next week in a little bit more detail. I wasn't aware beforehand of the implications that WrestleMania 19 had on the locker room at the time. It's the last time that we saw a great era of wrestling in the same locker room together, actually on the show card as well. That card had Stone Cold Steve Austin versus The Rock,
which is always a
Shawn Michaels versus Chris Jericho, Kurt Angle versus Brock Lesnar, Triple H versus The Undertaker, Trish Stratus versus Mickey James, I think it was, or Victoria.
I think it might have been. I think it might be. No, I think it's Victoria.
But
I'm not 100% sure on that one.
But
either way, it was still a good match.
Actually, I don't think Undertaker versus Triple H at WrestleMania. I think Undertaker might have faced. Who did he face? Prince Albert and Big Show or someone. I don't know. I'll look it up and I'll post it on. But if you have a look at that card from top to bottom, that card is filled.
It was thinking that. Yeah, you're on about 19. That was the handicap match.
Yeah.
That was definitely the handicap match. I know this because 20 was when he came back as the Dead Man.
Yeah. So, if you look at that card is the last time that all the Attitude Era had a chance to shine through.
And they did.
Was WrestleMania 19 when they had Raven, Big Show, and Kane in a hardcore match?
I think it might have been.
That was brutal. Funny, brutal.
Yeah.
But that was there.
Let's put more of the focus on one match. Which match do you think stole the show on that one?
Stone Cold versus The Rock.
You thought so?
Yeah.
I thought it was good, but I don't think it stole the show.
You're on about Kurt Angle, Lesnar, or you're on about... My actual favourite match on there is Shawn Michaels versus Chris Jericho.
I was just about to get to that part.
Which stole the show, but I don't want to cover the actual show there. I want to cover the backstage implications that it had.
All I'll say is Shawn Michaels versus Chris Jericho. What a match. And it's not just because it's a good match. It's storytelling. If
you go back and watch this, I don't think people are aware of how injured half of that card was. And they put themselves through a lot. I was talking to Matt today, and he wasn't actually aware of one of the facts I told him, which I'll cover next week. But I'm going to send in the link so we can talk about it in more detail. But half of that card was actually injured and still put on a show that good. Whereas now, if someone gets a little bit injured or went through something that a certain main event caliber match participant had to go through to still make it there, Vince will now pull him from the card, and I think sometimes that if he was...
There's being cautious and then there's being overcautious.
Yeah.
But it's good to see that
the learning. Care. However, but there's a lot of things, and I'll post this on, and it was an eye-opener for me, so I now have a newfound respect for them. So, anything else you want to cover? We might have to wrap this one up a little earlier, folks, than usual, because I've got a match I need to get to, and we're running out of time to do what we need to do in the restricted time.
Now, usually we're normally talking a bit more about, other shows and whatnot. How about we talk about a little bit about the British wrestling scene?
Has anything happened on the British wrestling scene recently?
Well, at the moment, United, as we mentioned,
United Wrestling are there. They're after a guest announcer for the evening still, maybe, or have you filled it out?
No, they've actually got the original guy.
Oh.
Yes, we've got Daniel Standring.
As I knew I forgot to mention something. I think Daniel will be...
Unfortunately, he might not be joining us because he's got to go travelling to Wales the following day, possibly. It's a hit and miss.
I can bring him a sheep in the office if he wants.
If I'm honest, I'm trying to persuade him to come in. I really want him to come to do this podcast.
We're hoping that Daniel will be a special guest on here with us next week. If not, it's fine. You can listen to us too. I've got a couple of special guests that we're lining up soon as well.
But I have got a special guest, possible future special guest. I was speaking to last night. Actually, two of them. That I'm sure that you're going to be loving. One of them is possibly the high-flying, death-defying former Celtic champion.
Squirt. Yep.
And another superstar who's high on your list. But you haven't seen him for a while.
Heimlich.
Nope. And he's from Wales. He's Welsh.
Oh, Ace Jordan.
Yes.
Yeah, if Ace Jordan comes on, he is... I got a lot of praise for this boy. He's a talent. A lot of people don't praise him the way that I like to praise him, but I think this boy is the next big thing in British wrestling. If he can curb his attitude, a lot of people have told him the same, but the sky's the limit for this person.
But bear in mind, he's not an old veteran.
No, he's
young.
He's young. He's about 4 years younger than I am, so I won't mention how old I am, but he's 4 years. He's 4 years younger than me, but he's got unlimitless potential. And if we manage to get Ace Jordan on here, it'll be a great addition, and it'll be a good episode. I can promise you that.
You like that now, don't you?
Yeah, Ace Jordan, a lot of potential. I reckon the next 10 years you'll see him with Paige on WWE if he can live up to his potential.
You really think that high of him?
He's got everything. He is probably the next Dolph Ziggler.
Wow. Ooh, is that by your standards though? That's good and bad.
It's good and bad because he sounds like Dolph Ziggler as well. So he's got limitless potential. He just needs to put it all together and have the full package. But Ace Jordan, all the potential in the world. Watch out for him in America because I reckon he'll be coming your way if he stays.
I will say I've wrestled him myself in the past, and I've got to say, super kicks, yeah, they hurt.
He actually listens to fan chants as well. I went to a PG show and I managed to get a kick him in the balls chant started up at a PG show. So I was quite proud at that moment in time.
Trust you.
So that was that covered. So
yeah.
Any other surprises?
I've had to put that plug in because I'm pretty sure at some point I know he actually likes us on Facebook.
Yeah.
So please listen. Please, as I've said to you before, I mentioned to him last night. You are big on him. I just don't know. I just don't think he realises how big you are on him. And I think the fact that you just done that.
He hasn't even put me up to that. I didn't even know that he'd been speaking to Trace about coming on the show. But that is a genuine comment.
I just really dropped the bomb on him.
Like, that is a genuine comment. I've had a chance to sit with him outside the ring for a little bit. I've had a chance to I've had a couple of drinks with some of his family as well at a couple of the shows. So he's great talent, really great talent.
Great talent, young lad, got a future.
Yeah, great future as well.
Great future. Anything you'd like to cover?
No, I'm all right for this week. I'm very wary of time. I've got a big match tonight, and there's a couple of people let us down. Otherwise, I'd quite happily sit here and talk some more. But I need to go get some more practice.
Well, as we know, we could talk for hours on wrestling, but we've only got an hour.
So, if you want to contact me, we're going to do this differently. I'm going to go first for once. You can contact me on Facebook, which is Nathan Goff. If you add me on there, I'll accept you. If you message me, I'll answer you back. If you message me at some hours, if I wake up, I'll answer you back. If I don't, I'll answer you as soon as I wake up. After having the important stuff in the morning, orange juice, relentless. You can contact me via Twitter on Wrestling's Fourth Wall, Facebook Breaking the Fourth Wall, and through Hotmail at bt4w@hotmail.com.
But bear this in mind.
Outlook.com, not Hotmail. If you go to Hotmail, you won't get us. Outlook.com.
Outlook.com. I was about to hit that one, but to be honest with you, that's not just. You won't just be contacting them. From time to time, I'll also be popping in as well, and be also be reading any emails as well. But if you want to contact me directly, you can contact me on Facebook at Matt Burns UK. You can email me at mattburns04@hotmail.com.
And someone has a webpage as well.
funny. Which is www.matt dash whatever you want to call it. It's a little dash. Hovers in the middle. Burns.com.
And for some reason as well, I don't know if he's ever told you this as well.
Actually, or .co.uk. Both of them work, but if I'm honest with you, go for .co.uk. At Sport England.
I don't know if he's told you this as well. He also sells merchandise. He's got glasses that he likes to sell. So I don't know if he's mentioned that before.
I'm currently not selling them yet on the website at the moment.
But if you go to a show and you want a pair of Matt Burns glasses, you'll be able to find them as well with Matt Burns t-shirts.
T-shirts are on hold, but actually at United they actually have them on sale. And I will say, I can't believe that I actually saw a baby onesie with my logo on it. That was a highlight.
Who the fuck would want to put a baby in your onesie?
The scary thing about it is, at the end of the night, it was sold. I have no idea who. I was like, have I just seen that?
That's scary. And
moving on.
And my favourite way of contacting Matt is on Twitter at Matthew Bad Boy Burns.
Yeah, you love doing that, don't you?
I love that plug. So you can find him on there, and a special shout out to Dan. I'll keep on going for the wriggly rib about Matt plugging his merchandise, because we all know he loves the merchandise.
But one plug I've definitely got to scream out right now. I've got to say a big, massive thank you to Standring Designs, who have done amazing work.
Yeah, I did this on the little teaser as well. I said thank you to Dan there as well. He's done a brilliant job. He's hopefully, I don't know if Matt's mentioned it to him about doing some t-shirts soon.
There has been mentions of it, but I'm pretty sure the logo that he's designed is already ready for t-shirts.
So hopefully soon enough we'll have the Breaking the Fourth Wall t-shirts.
And hang on. And he's moaning to me about deliberately mentioning merchandise.
Hey. I'm a salesman. If I can plug anything, I can sell ice to the Eskimos. So that's everything, folks. So remember to watch your local wrestling shows and
keep in touch.
And we'll catch you later. From the Bad Boy British Wrestling to myself, Nathan Goff, thank you for listening. If you can't be good, be safe. If you can't be safe, don't be sorry. See you later, folks.